Tudor teachers.
Yeah, we knew you'd ask us that one.
So we've got that one specially prepared.
We don't mind the pastoral care.
We don't even mind when a certain young teacher asks us who we're going out with, what's going on in the common room, etc. But I must say, we do draw a line in the ball and chain on our ankles.
Special attention?
Well, we only had 4 meetings a week with Mrs. Green.
And that's been whittled down to 3 15-minute sessions 3 times a day.
3 times a week.
We're not saying we didn't mind the attention.
Especially for those first-year boys. So macho.
I remember he held the door open for me for a full second.
Yeah, then it's slammed in your face.
But don't worry, the school insurance scheme does pay for loss of the nose.
As long as you weren't, as stated in Rule 18, standing in front of a roller in motion, e.g. Alex got on the roof at you.
No, don't forget, that's you're a boy. Haven't you read your school rules properly?
I don't need to read. I'm a girl.
So what's it like?
In a sixth form centre?
Well, it did feel a bit somewhat strange.
And the 10 chairs in the furthest corners were a little excessive.
We wouldn't have minded mingling.
Yes, but the barbed wire was a bit over the top. Therefore prevented us somewhat, really.
But it could have been put there by Mrs. Green, who does her utmost to protect us from the rather pungent smell of Johnny's office aftershave.
School uniform?
Yeah, well, it used to be strict.
No, well, we didn't really like it all that much, so we just changed it.
School days, we tried to once.
Yes, but we weren't impressed.
So now we just go round to the headmaster's house for caviar instead.
Don't the boys mind?
Mind? Why should they?
We are special, after all.
We're girls.
What?
Now, first day. Well, to put it one way, we now know what it's like to be animals in a zoo.
Yes, I don't mean to worry you, but we do mean that one literally.
What do you think of the school so far?
Social life. I haven't mentioned social life.
Social life. Well, it's good, but it's not that good.
I only got 20 Valentine's cards, and half of those were off John. Call yourself a man trig, so you don't.
Well, I think that just about covers every aspect of school life so far, don't you?
Yes, any other questions?
What about work?
Work.
Work.
Work?
Work. What do you think we came here for?
In the past few years, there have been some recent breakthroughs between communication between man and animals. In the forefront of this field is Professor Timothy Fielding and his experiments with a gorilla called Gerald. Professor, can Gerald really speak as we would understand it?
Oh, yes. And he can speak in actual words. But it was enormously difficult for him to get to this stage. I mean, when I first caught Gerald in the Congo, in 67, I think it was. 68, Tim. 68. He was enormously slow, difficult. I mean, I had to spend a vast amount of time myself.
Butt in here a moment, Tim. I have put a vast amount of work into this project myself, and to be quite frank, your teaching methods do leave a lot to be desired.
It's a bit ungrateful.
Your diction isn't really up to much, is
Now
it?
look, can we put this in sort of perspective? When I caught Gerald in 67, he was completely wild.
Wild? I was livid. I've never been treated like such a dick in all my life.
Yes, but that's all changed now, hasn't it, Professor? Because since you've actually brought Gerald up in your own
Oh,
home.
yes, Gerald actually does live with me.
Though not in the biblical sense, of course.
And does he have, well, do you have any mates, Gerald?
Oh, yes. I have lots of mates. I mean, I've got the professor here,
No, well,
his son Toby, Raymond next door.
that's not quite what I was getting at.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yes.
You mean crumpet.
Well,
the other day. And you know how you tell jokes about the Irish not being all that clever? Well, we tell the same sort of jokes about orangutans. They're not all that famous for being bright either.
Really? How?
I've heard this one.
For instance, have you heard the one?
Yes!
About the orangutan breaks a pomegranate with a banana. Yes, well, it doesn't really survive the translation all that well. It was very, very funny at the time, I can assure you.
Quite. Well, Professor, to come back to my earlier question, has Gerald reacted from being separate from his family in any way?
Yes, in the early days, Gerald made several attempts to contact his own branch of gorillas.
It's a whoop, Professor. It's a whoop of gorillas. It's a flange of baboons, for God's sake, man.
I mean, he used to write them the occasional letter, but after a while, I really didn't see the point. I mean, they'd either eat them or wet their bottoms.
Look, just because you didn't get on with my mother,
Well, she didn't exactly like me, did she?
she got on fine with David Attenborough.
David Attenborough. David Attenborough, all I hear is David bloody Attenborough.
Look, let's leave Dave out of this, shall we?
Have a banana.
Oh, all right.
Gerald, if I could turn to you now. I believe you've been making money doing commercials and so on. But could you tell me what exactly you spend your earnings on?
Well, I suppose you expect me to say I spend it all on bananas, peanuts and carpet cleaner.
No, of course not.
Well, I do spend about 95% on these items. But I do like to indulge in life's little luxuries. I'm rather into Johnny Mathis's groove at the moment.
And don't we know it, when a child is born and blaring out in the small hours, while I'm downstairs trying to do some serious work.
Look, the production on that album is amazing.
This is supposed to be my serious scientific project.
Your serious scientific project. I had to go to evening classes for 3
Oh,
years.
shut up about your bloody evening classes.
Look, as Aristotle once said, Ezoni ene gudi ini naka tempervalane.
You arrogant little bastard, this is my work you're making. Do you think it's easy for me?
Easy for you? I spent half my life in quarantine.
Trampling the gong, eating the daffodils.
I do not eat
Professor,
daffodils.
Well, somebody does, don't they?
Professor, Gerald, if we could leave it there. Thank you both very much. Thank you.